Most of us would think you out of your... Because the white man spoke with such absolute authority. I remember hearing on the radio as a boy, one of the government leaders say, we can police the world. That's what I heard as a boy. Those words rung in my ears, and they never left my ears. I hear them right now. We can police the world. World War II. We can police the world. Now you imagine what would happen to a government official if he say something like that now? We're living in a new reality, time of new, different reality. No nation now can boss by himself. Nations have to get together, respect each other, work together for the global security and peace. That's the time we're living in right now, and been living in that time for a decade or so, or more, maybe more. And as we live day by day or year by year, we are coming more and more into that new world of reality, where no one nation can be boss to himself or by himself or itself. They have to meet with each other, respect each other. They have to be dependent on each other. No such thing as one nation going to control all the material resources. No. They have to share the material resources and work together for the best condition on this earth for all people. This is the time we live in. And the Quran is the herald of this day and time. It was the herald, it is the herald of global peace and harmony. Now, let's look at economics and Islam for a little while. Islam says that absolute ownership is only with God. Nobody has absolute ownership. Yes, I own this suit, I own these things, I own my car, I own my house. Yes, but that language has to be qualified. This is an isolated reality. My ownership is an isolated reality. When I put my reality in the global reality, then I don't own this suit. Because my time is so short, this suit gonna outlive me. And I got this suit, I purchased this suit, etc., with a price. With a price. This suit may appreciate and my money may depreciate. So even technically speaking, we may argue whether I still own this suit or not, right? That's right. That's right. I paid so much for it, now the suit is appreciated. So you still own it? You didn't pay them that. So how do you still own it? Still in your possession. But maybe a man might come up with a law one of these days and say, after depreciation eats away your initial investment, you're not entitled to it anymore. Yeah, man, can come up with something like that. You know, who knows? Now, but in the light of universal truth, we can clear this thing up very quickly. Where did the material come from? Came from the earth. Came from the natural environment, natural resources. Man manufactured it. Man, who's man? A lost pattern. A lost pattern did this. Took the resources from the natural pattern, natural resource pattern, and then a lost computer pattern with a computer manufactured this. Okay, a lost pattern? Now, if I make a computer to do something like that, I can go to court and say, the product is mine. Right? So now, Allah is not selfish and small like a little human piece of droppings. So Allah is not going to come down here and say, hey, that's my pattern. That's my resources. My computer did that. Allah is not going to do that. But if Allah could appear in court, says God is in court today. Say, how you all claiming all this my stuff? Say, what in the world's going on here? Say, you got all these sophisticated patent laws protecting your creation, and you forgot about mine. Now these little plastic computers you got here, they ain't nothing comparing to the computer. I made you. You my computer. You my computer, and you putting out these things. And you say they're not mine? By your own law, I'm sentencing you. God should say, by your own law, by man's law, I sentence man. That's right. To pay me eternally for what he stole. Right? Yes. Because you didn't find these resources out in space but not existing, and then you said Shazam and all this stuff came into place. You found this stuff here, and it took you millions of years to learn how to use it. Because God created you with a computer. Finally you're able to use it now, and you manufacture and you stamp your names on stuff. Talking about your patterns. Absolute ownership belongs to Allah. We are proceeding from the belief that Allah is one. All of this is Tawheed I'm talking. So absolute ownership now is God's only. Allah owns this earth. Allah owns all the natural resources. Allah owns every natural human person and owns every possibility in every human person. Because he created the human person. And you're no different now than it was 1,000 or 1,000,000 years ago. It's the same anatomy. It's the same human brain. It's the same human nature. But time and experience and help from God has brought you to do these wonderful things you're doing now. So you owe it to God. So this is the condition for peace on this earth, global peace, that we accept that absolute ownership belongs to no individual, no race, no nation. Absolute ownership belongs only to the one that designed all this and did all this. That's the only absolute owner. Now, if we could agree on that, there'd be less arrogance when we sit down at the United Nations table, huh? There'll be less national arrogance. We won't have people walking out so fast in disgust. Allah is the absolute owner. This is Tawheed. This is oneness. Allah says then to teach man how to have economic justice. For every worker is the benefit of its work. That's not communist. You think the communists said that, don't you? No, the Quran said that. Karl Marx, Engels, Lenin, the rest of them, they came much later. Allah says that. And this attention to the worker, to make sure he gets his respect, his dignity, comes from Islam first. Mohammed said, and pay the worker his due while the sweat is still on his brow. So he has rights. And he shouldn't have to wait until you decide to pay him. And you know that's a big problem with people, isn't it? You do work and you got to keep calling them up about your money. Hey, look, I got my check ready. Did you get my money yet? Well, what's holding it up? I finished the work. Where's my money? A lot of times somebody go the way of the grave. Because of just prolonging it too long, that worker know he got God on his side. Something inside tell him, he probably never call it God, but something inside is powerful. It's telling him this ain't right. After a while, it's so strong, he just, boom. And we say, that man shot that man over his money. But I have another way of saying it as a philosopher of religion. God used that man as a pistol. Blew that sinner's brains out. Now, we can't condone that kind of behavior. Now, I'm not saying that. We have to respect civilized laws and have patience. But don't depend on it all the time. If you're that kind of person that neglect paying right away, don't depend on that. It doesn't work all the time now. The prophet says, pay the worker while the sweat's still on the brow. And Allah says in the Quran, for every worker is what that worker earned, whether it's a male or female. So you know what that's saying? If you got 5 pictures to paint of exactly the same description, and you give one female 2 pictures to paint, and you give a male 3 pictures to paint, and the pictures are the same description, and they produce the same work. They satisfy, both of them delivered what you told them to do, the male and the female. You can't have different scales for those 2. You got to pay both of them the same. Whatever you agree to pay one, you can't discriminate sexually and give her a cheaper price or give her a cheaper pay for her work. No, this is 1,400 years old law. Here is something else in Islam about regulating their business, the economy, that I'm sure a lot of us don't know. In our religion, emphasis is on keeping money circulating. It's against hoarding. It's against monopoly. Can't monopolize. You can't have a monopoly on things. You can't have a hegemony on things and it be in accord with Islam. You can't. You can't hold so much of your product waiting on a better time when the price is going up. So you can't do that. Say, well, I'm not going to put this on the market. I'm holding it back. I predict next summer more for this. You can't do that. That's unfair in Islamic business or in Islamic economy. Allah puts the emphasis on spending. Spend, and trust God. Our whole religion has its main support upon faith in God. Trust God, trust His law, trust His guidance, trust His conclusions. That's what it's based on. Faith, trust in God, number one. So, we are not to hold our money fearing that a time's going to come and we might not have it. We won't be able to make it, or we'll starve, I won't have enough money. I got to have enough to take care of me for the next 50 years. No, Muslim is supposed to be not a risk taker, but a believer in God. It's not the same as risk taking, but we are supposed to invest and leave the risk to God. Don't hold our money, don't keep money and don't invest it. That hurts society. The more you invest, the better off the society will be. Investing makes opportunities. Hoarding denies opportunities. See? So this is Islamic business. This is Islamic economics. And what does Allah say in our holy book? Say, don't keep the money out of circulation, holding it in the hands of a few or in the hands of a certain group. But you must release it so that it circulates freely in the society to benefit the society. The realities, the trends that we see in the world now, the coming realities that's forcing man to live as one family in the living room of earth is going to put more and more demands on that 1/6 of the people, or 1/6% that has all the control over the wealth. They're going to have to give it up. They're going to have to stop denying the world the benefit of the resources created by God for all his creation, all of his dependents to share in. Time is coming. The world is changing. And if the world would start right now living by Islamic economic principles, it will save itself a whole lot of headaches, whole lot of unnecessary wars, whole lot of unnecessary destruction, whole lot of unnecessary punishments that comes on the world because man doesn't respect truth, reality, God. Now, lastly, we want to address the social issue. The social issue. In Islam, as it is for the other great religions, we are one social creation too. We are one social nature, one social creation, one social pattern. God, in creating families, husband, wife, sex, children, families, God has already predetermined the conclusion for man's family life and social life on this earth. A belief in the inferiority or the superiority of one race over another has no more time on this earth. It's gone. Time is out for it. Anybody talking that stuff? It's just like a drunk person or a mental case out of the institution out here on the street talking to people. Yeah, they get more respect than what the devil gives them. Only Satan gives them respect because he still needs them. Nobody else gives them respect except another mental patient. Yes. Now, but you know, a lot of intelligent blacks now, brother, believe in the superiority of the black genes over the white genes, brother. No, you are wrong. A lot of intelligent blacks are playing the game of racism and white supremacy in the reverse, and collecting from the ignorant. That's all they're doing. Collecting from the ignorant. They know better. Ain't nobody that learned how to read on a 12th grade level believe in that stuff. All of them acting. All of them actors.
Tell the truth. That's right.
Our prophet in Islam wants us to respect creation in its design that God gave it. Our prophet was once approached by a person who was worried because he had a child and the child didn't look like it. And he loved his wife, but he was uncomfortable. He brought the matter to the prophet, peace be upon Prophet Mohammed, and Mohammed says, well, don't you raise animals? He said, yes. He said, well, don't sometime you see an animal come from the two that you mate that doesn't look like either one of them? He said, yes. He said, that's the explanation. Now, that's a scientific prophet. That's Islam. The Islamic family is, first of all, a family that's under the law of God. The Islamic family is under the law of God. We are under the light of, we are in the light of God, under the law of God. We are under our holy book called the Quran. Matters for us should be decided first by the Quran and of the Quran for all Muslims. Muhammad, that body of knowledge is that men and women have equal rights before God. It means they have the same rights. It means that they get equal respect from the law. That the law is not going to discredit or work against or do an unjust thing or injustice to either one of them. The law is just for the both of them. That's what it means. That they're entitled to justice under the same law, the same justice. An example of that justice is that a woman in Islam, she's entitled to her income from her own work, and the husband has no claim on it. Because God says the obligation to maintain her is on the husband. And also, another example, if she's a businesswoman and she develops her business, she has the right to her business money. And if she has a father who's a businessman, as his daughter, she has a right to a share of his business when he deceased. She inherits from him. She has the rights to inheritance. The rights of inheritance, to inherit wealth from her father or from her mother, from her relatives or whoever, her husband. She has these rights. And the husband has no rights on her money. Except what she gives him freely, voluntarily gives him. It's up to her. Now, I don't know about you, brother, but I like dignity.
Yes, sir. That's right. Yes, sir.
So no matter how nice it may look, how comfortable it may look, I don't want to marry a sister that'll have me going out there working 40 hours a week, earning about $300 to $200, and she's spending that every day. Because she's well off. Financially, she's well off, you see. I wouldn't want a relationship like that. I like the idea mates should marry from similar mates, right? Your mate should be similar to you. Now, it ain't a law, you don't have to. Well, brother, I wouldn't be looking for no rich woman if I'm poor. I wouldn't. No, I don't look for no rich woman. I want a woman that's waiting for my 250 or whatever I'm going to get next week. Now, that's going to be some natural good love making. Now, that's me. I don't know what some of you all got on your mind. But I like my dignity. I'd much rather be in her position. So I'd rather strain my brain and see how I can become rich.
That's right.
Yeah. Then I have her asking me, are you going to go by the Quran, brother, and give us my share again? Give me the will and give my share. Yes, sister. I'm going to get the attorney to draw up the papers soon. But don't be too impatient. I might get another wife. And that'll cut your percentage down a little bit. Have a little fun, you know. Yeah. So the obligation is on us to establish, to build Muslim families. Muslim families. So our families come under the law of Quran and the teachings of our prophet, the law of his pattern, the law of his tradition. If we do that, we're going to have stronger and stronger families. We're going to have more stable families. We'll be stronger in every respect, in every way. We're going to become stronger and stronger. We'll be stronger spiritually, we'll be stronger socially, we'll be stronger financially if we live according to the teachings of our religion. And Allah says the wasters, listen to this. I'm concluding on this idea, the social concept. The wasters are the brothers of the Satans. That's what Allah says in the Quran. Wasters are the brothers of the Satans, the devils. Now, how can you read that and know that? And 1/5 to 1/2 of all the groceries you bought with my money goes into the garbage. Intelligent living is what we want. Intelligent living says the homekeeper have to operate that home like a storekeeper. The storekeeper, he looks in the refrigerator before he make another purchase. He looks in the refrigerator and see what's there. He got a produce list. He wants to make a produce list. He wants to see what produce he needs first. Oh, I got so many stalks of celery and I got so many. Well, I don't need that much. But you got to do the same thing, sister. You got to open that refrigerator and count the pieces of celery, count the pepper, count whatever, count the eggs, count everything, and say how many I need for the rest of the week. Okay, I don't need to spend as much on these things this Friday or this Saturday as I spent last Saturday. I got a lot of left over. Now you got all this stuff coming to you from these black prophets of racism. Yeah. And you blaming everybody for your economic or business failure. And part of it is right in that kitchen. Here you got an immigrant that you jealous of. Yeah, they come over here, they got all these benefits. Immigration give them all these benefits. You don't know what you're talking about either half the time. And they come over here with money already, you know. They got it made already when they come to America, you know. You don't know what you're talking about most of the time. And yeah, look at them. Just coming out of our neighborhood, already got a store there. And look how they treat us when we go to buying that stuff. But you still go in there, don't you? And the problem is, The same problem that we're talking about in the kitchen. Same intelligence it takes to regulate that kitchen is the intelligence it takes to get respect from your neighborhood storekeeper. Yeah, certainly. Intelligence failure is just an intelligent failure. It shows up in all kind of places. Yeah, so just think how much could be coming in to the children's education, better clothes for the children, better environment for the children, if we wouldn't waste so much. You know, this is a fact. We employ more garbage collectors than any other race in the United States. It's a fact. No people throw out as much garbage and trash as we do. Just think about that. The wasters are the brothers of the devils. That's what Allah says in the Quran. Now, doesn't mean that you actually, live in the same house and the devil say, yeah, that's my brother. That's my brother's father too, devil. Yeah, we brothers and sisters from the same parents. That's not what it means. A brother shares the same circumstances. A brother lives in the same household. A brother is affected by the same household environment, and he's contributing to that same household environment. So here is the system of Satan that you are contributing to. And you living in his system, you contributing to his system, you benefit his system, so you are a brother, you are a member in his household. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you're a member in his household. You're helping his system, you're helping his household with your way, with your spending habits, with your wasteful habits. You're supporting the system. You're supporting the system of the devil. Oh, is that the system of the United States? In part, yes. And anybody else that have that same situation or same problem? Yes. Waste is good for those who benefit from the waste. But you don't benefit from it. Your garbage and your waste, who benefits from this waste now? When you go out, you waste your money on too much groceries. Now you have to spend more money on groceries, right? Who's benefiting from this? The man who's selling you the groceries, right? The man who's selling you the groceries, he's benefiting. But he's not responsible either. There's a system that has waste as a factor in its security. The system is influenced by the Satan. The system is never going to come out here and tell you, if you families want to get financially stronger, you got to stop wasting so much. System ain't going to tell you that. It's a factor built into the system to strengthen the system. You're the victims of it. Poor, ignorant consumers. We have to change the way we live. We have to do it in the name of self. And I find no name bigger than Allah. So I impose behavior upon myself in the name of Allah. And that's what every Muslim should do. Every Muslim should know what Allah wants for us in our behavior and then impose that behavior on ourselves in the name of Allah, because we're too small to do it for ourselves or in our own name. Our own name will fail us. And believe me, I see that as part of the demands on us if we are to have global peace and harmony. One of these days, the nations are going to have to come to us. They look, everybody done cleaned up their act, and you blacks, you're still unnecessarily burdening the system. You wouldn't have to wait for the year 2020 if it was left up to me. I'll just make an announcement over national primetime TV. You claim you're poor. I got some inspectors coming through your neighborhood and look at your trash that you put out this weekend. You put too much out, you're going to jail. And you ain't going to jail to watch TV. We got a work program waiting for you. And we're going to give your income, the profit we make off of you, we're going to give it to these citizens that respect their earnings, respect their husband's income, or whoever's income it is. I don't know. Ain't got too many husbands with income nowadays. But in my conclusion, I want to say that the Islamic idea of the creation of human beings is that we are all one pattern, one human pattern. And the male and the female are of the same pattern. It's just the physiology for reproduction that makes us different. And really, her brain is capable of doing as anything your brain is capable of doing. Time she's going to prove it if she haven't already. So we have to give up these crazy ideas, that we get from our cultures, our unenlightened cultures, our misguided cultures, our corrupt cultures. We have to give up all these crazy ideas and accept the truth that God has revealed. And we also have to accept that absolute ownership is only with God, and we have to accept to share all the resources on this planet and support national leadership that will respect this and hope for a day when there will be no real unnecessary pockets of poverty in our nation or in the national world. It ain't necessary. If the wealth be shared, the resources be shared as they should be shared, there will be no people starving. Any famine area would get help right away. There would be food for everybody suffering. All calamities would be answered quickly. There would be help for everybody. This earth is not short of food yet. There's plenty food. There's plenty resources. We don't have to have the extravagance that we have in our life, most of us. We wasting too much. And I repeat, wasters are the brothers of the devils. If we live according to Islamic life, according to Islamic guidance, we will be a factor for bringing this world to a better time of justice for all people in all nations. Yes, we will. We'll be a strong factor for ushering in that time, bringing it quicker. Time of economic justice for all people, social justice for all people, political justice for all people, living in the living room we call earth, created by one and the same God. And each and every one of us are equally his dependents. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, wonderful. I'd like to have some fun with the IRS. I'm going to write down some dependents and put Allah's dependents. Allah's dependents. I know I won't get nothing, but I hope they won't put me in a mental institution here. You all have to help me get out. But I might just have some fun, Allah's dependents. But really, seriously now, all of us are Allah's dependents. And Allah has not said that he can't take care of his dependents. So we're supposed to trust Allah. There's a new theory now being talked about. A theory that this globe, this universe will accommodate all of the demands on this globe, on Earth. And that one day, computers are going to be able to do so much more than they're doing now, and therefore also the ability of the designers of the computers and those that use the computers is going to be so much greater, that possibilities in the universe for exploring the universe and finding space out there to answer our needs here, or things and space out there to answer our needs here, is going to be much more possible. They're predicting this. Allah says all of the space out there, He has made it like a field for cultivation. A field for cultivation. So why don't, if we say we believe in God, why don't we trust God? That there are not going to be too many people populated on this earth. That when the numbers reach that point where population will be threatening our quality of life, Allah would have already opened up a new boundary, a new horizon in the space beyond to answer these needs that we're having on earth. I believe in that. I believe in the future because I believe in God. And I don't believe we're supposed to kill babies. I don't believe we're supposed to be freaks. We're supposed to be human beings. We're not supposed to make ourselves some new freaks of a new technical or technocratic age. No, we are not supposed to let technology design human life. We are supposed to respect what God intended for us, what God has decided or dictated in our best human nature and in our best human behavior, and we are to keep to that best human nature and keep to that best human behavior and take the risk that Allah can answer. That's my belief. So I know that I'm not going to be liked that much by a lot of people, but look, brothers, if you don't like contraceptives, don't use them. Sisters, you don't like them, don't have your husband use them. I don't go along with these people saying, limit your family number to 2. I'm going to have 2 children, or I'm going to have 1. Well, I don't think I'll have any. Well, you help yourself. If they find to discover a way to rejuvenate my body, I'm going to start all over again. They want to sterilize somebody and go find Satan's children. Don't sterilize Muslims. Thank you very much. Prepare for the day of sharing one global living room and being brothers and sisters by each other, caring for each other no matter what color your face is or what your nationality is or where you're from. Take care of your home. Make your home strong. Make it strong morally. Make it strong Islamically. Make it strong materially. And don't waste. Assalamu alaikum.
Takbir!